There we go. Hi, I'm Luke, and welcome to the Barely Normal podcast. I believe this is episode 5. The music had to stop sometime. As is life, c'est la vie. The small death. It's kind of fascinating that there are so many things that are the opposites of each other at the same time. Like blanc. You know, it means white in French, but like white, black in other languages. And apparently it's because of coal. Something to do with coal. I suppose the ashes are white and the actual embers go black, I suppose. But it was the word for that thing, I suppose, or fire or something around that. But it does make language and communication a little bit difficult. And if they say that 85 or most of our communication is non-verbal, then how much is kind of getting lost in translation when you're just sending? Maybe that's why a picture is worth 1,000 words. Although when that was written, people probably couldn't. There probably weren't that many people who could read. So I suppose it was maybe another way of saying, make more pictures in your books, otherwise people get bored. I think it's interesting. Maybe I should stop saying that. I seem to start every sentence with, I think it's interesting. But I really do. I find it really fascinating that every time there is a new technology, like a really new breakthrough, like a real big breakthrough, like the printing press or the bicycle or the telephone or the internet, so many people say that it is, it's from the devil, or that it's an evil, On the one hand, I understand where they're coming from. The bicycle, the humble bicycle, was and is responsible for quite a fair amount of, and how's this euphemism, a fair amount of genetic variation, which is a nice way of saying, in this context, that people skipped out in church and pedaled to the next town and pumped. Apparently the bicycle actually was responsible for a large proportion of new genetic variants. Because for the first time, you didn't need to be rich and powerful and have a horse or walk somewhere. You don't want to have to walk far, or there was no Tinder. You had to go someplace and then see if anybody was there. What a time. It seems like a lot of time to stress over things when you're walking and thinking about things. Although some of the greatest thinkers were walkers, so maybe that's why. My balcony is overrun with pigeons at the moment, getting scraps that I gave to Rosie. She now comes when I call, kind of. If I can see her in the distance, and I call her and I show her some bread, she makes a beeline. She comes to me. It's great. That's the pigeon that I caught with string around its feet. Shame, poor Rosie. It seems like such a stupid thing. Such a weird trade-off. It's like, okay, you can either fly or you can have hands to take off string around your feet. Yeah. Well, I suppose children who make different decisions, and then their lineages keep on making those decisions and doubling down. Maybe that's what we think heritage is. Tomorrow is Heritage Day here in South Africa. Braai Day, colloquially. A braai is, if you don't know, it's just, I suppose, like a barbecue. But more, let's say, probably more old school. So put it that way. You've just got a grid. You've got flames. Almost never buy gas. That is a pretty faux pas, considering a gas fire to be a braai. It almost always has to be coals or wood. And yeah, and then you normally have wors, which is a nice thick sausage. And it's ready when it breaks. I say breek, haal hom af. Well, I speak very bad Afrikaans. Even though Afrikaans was actually my first language, apparently. But yeah, times have changed. That was apparently a long time ago. There was quite a bit of dead air. They say you should avoid dead air. But I guess an uncomfortable silence can become a comfortable silence if you're with the right person. So how about this? I will have empty spaces. I saw this on a YouTube channel called Ep.5 Get. He's an enthusiastic bassist. And he has these little sections of silence. So I'm gonna blatantly steal his idea just for a second, just to prove that silence isn't a bad thing. But I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna listen to you. You tell me what's on your mind. Tell me, what are you going through at the moment? That sounds pretty difficult. You showed great resilience in dealing with that. Look, I think you're probably being a little bit harder on yourself than you need to be. Well, I think you're probably going to make the right decision in the end, or you did the right thing, and you'll figure it out. So don't stress about it anymore, and yeah, I hope that helped. Silence doesn't need to be a bad thing. That being said, somebody did tell me that I should maybe have a list of topics at hand, but I kind of feel like that goes against the potential format that I'm creating, where I just speak about whatever comes to mind, and tangentially speaking, which is a fantastic podcast, actually. There's my cue. Well, thank you for joining me. This was another podcast of the barely normal variety, and please let me know what you thought and what you think in the comment section of wherever. And because it's a new podcast, you can probably have a lot to say quite early on. But I suppose this section right here would actually be really perfect to tell you about something that I'm really excited about and insane and